right, this is the 45th session of the Kojima Productions Report.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
Almost a year.
Almost a year, once every week.
It's amazing. Are you doing anything special for the year anniversary?
Haven't really thought about it, and I think that's going to be...
It's going to fall right around the same time as the Metal Gear anniversary.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Saw what I did there, huh?
Nice lead-in.
Yeah, and I'm just to kick off the show, I just thought I'd introduce Mark MacDonald to the program.
Hello.
Well, you can introduce yourself.
So I'm Mark MacDonald, director of GameVideos.com, the one-up video site.
Yeah. And often the fourth seat on the One Up Yours podcast.
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes One Up
the most requested fourth seater.
Really?
One Up.
I don't know.
One Up Yours podcast.
It's probably pretty close, but where am I on the list of the Kojima Productions Report requestees? Somewhere in the low 200s, maybe.
Well,
under the person that voiced I don't know, Fat Man
or Soldier G. Or
yeah. Johnny Sasaki.
No, we always get a good response from when we have guests, especially writers or people from the media, because they always ask tough questions.
Because we ask the tough questions, and I have my list of tough questions. And
I'm glad you brought it.
Well, and I didn't bring it, but we'll see if hopefully we'll have time to do a second one. This one we'll let you lead. And
okay.
You can lob your softballs out, and then the hard-hitting questions will come later.
So you got everybody excited for the next session, and then everything is going to be no comment. All the answers is going to be no comment, no comment.
Well, I wasn't ready for we're here in the same studio. I wasn't ready for. We're here in the same studio using the same equipment that you've been using to record the Metal Gear Solid 4 dialogue. So I wasn't ready to come into this formal studio location and record this. So
with the trickling water nearby.
Yeah.
And before I get into where we're recording, I want to introduce John Riccardi to the program too.
Oh hey.
From 8-4.
I'm John Riccardi. I'm back. The third time.
No, thanks for joining. It's
no problem. I'm happy to be back. I feel like I'm not worthy to be here the third time.
You've got good stuff to say, and
it's always better with more people.
Yeah, the more the merrier.
Yeah. As I've been telling you, Ryan, and as you've been, but I've been listening to the last few, and it's really good. It's informative.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's not easy putting together every week, and I'm not looking for sympathy out of anybody. but I mean, seriously, it's tough to put these things together.
But you've come close to saying some stuff, making some news. So that's what's been, I think, driving the interest.
You got to be careful because I do have a muzzle on me in regards to a lot of things.
Right.
But this sounds so cliche, but it's for the fans. But I do try.
Yeah.
My best to almost leak out the information, especially for the hardcore. I've said a couple of things where the hardcore picked it up where it hasn't made major news.
I just want to get you to that Bungie sweet spot where all you're talking about is the grass, or oh hey,
bad grass.
The ice cubes are in the new build, and they look at me because the fans do enjoy that stuff. But I know you guys, there's
it's a
levels
mindset.
And there's there's layers that you have to go through to get things approved. So
it's a totally different approach. The way that Mr. Kojima.
That said, we'll see what we can fool you into saying.
Yeah, try to trick me into giving some good info. And
if there's some stuff bleeped out, that's what we're hoping for. Then we hit pay dirt and hit me on the email, and I'll tell you everything that Ryan said.
This is cool. I'm looking forward to the next session, but maybe we should focus on session number 1
Yeah,
first.
yeah. So yes.
So we're recording in the garden of Midtown in Roppongi.
You may get kicked out again.
We could get kicked out. I'm not sure when it closes because when it gets late, they tend to the security cards, kind of Metal Gear style. You try to hide in a spot where where the security guys don't usually go.
Yeah.
When you record a podcast. But last time we got caught with Milky and Ryan O'Donnell and Shane and the gang. But
they're going to start to know you by sight soon. The security.
They do.
guards.
This is where I go through here every day to go to work.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. But yeah. So you're hanging out in Japan.
Yeah.
Mark, and I just wanted to know, just to kick off the show, what your general impressions are of as far as gaming is concerned. What you've observed in the past week.
Right. Well, I was talking to John about this a little bit today. I haven't totally immersed myself like I normally would because I'm not here for work. But a couple things that I have noticed is I'm actually surprised at the amount of 360 advertising and stuff that I'm seeing. We saw a Saints Row stretch Homer. in Harajuku earlier today, and on one of the train lines in Tokyo, they've been running like Trusty Bell commercials nonstop. John has been playing Trusty Bell.
Right. Trusty Bell is the Japanese version of Eternal Sonata.
Okay. Right, and we've been.
I heard Shane say that it looked like a Dreamcast game.
Yes, he did.
Shane also called Pac-Man just Pac-Man or whatever, but we've also been playing that. That's actually really fun.
Yeah.
Really cool. They talked about that on the One Up show actually last week. I'm kind of surprised at that because it's not like, I know that it's not born out of genuine like people are interested in talking about it. It just seems like tons of money is being thrown at things, which is. They're
trying, I guess.
The first thing he said to me after we saw the car today was that's probably Microsoft paid for that, or something.
It's a giant stretch Hummer in the middle of Harajuku, and you're not seeing that even for like the big releases that will appeal to Japan. Nothing against Saints Row, like it got reviewed pretty well, and it got reviewed well in Famitsu, as you were saying.
They loved it. What, 2 9s, 2 8s?
Yeah, but it's interesting because it's out of accordance with what the sales numbers are. I mean, of course, it's DS everywhere, and on the trains and stuff like that, it's everybody playing DS. But I have noticed more PSP stuff from the last time I was here. More ads, a couple more people like playing with them. And I think one of the ad campaigns now is like roughly translates to like, hey, the PSP is good recently.
Yeah, I've seen that. It was like the businessman.
Yeah. It's like psyching
PSP omoshroi.
Yeah. It's like, hey, it's actually good
like,
lately.
Finally.
Which is kind of an interesting.
Well, what's funny is like on the panel to the right of that, it lists all the Final Fantasy games that are coming in like 6 months from now.
Yeah, that's true. But also it has the girl with her pink, PSP, and everybody like you'll never see 4 people on the train ever all playing PSP, but of course it's got that too.
Well, unless they're Monster Hunter fans,
That's true.
Can you play that 4 players at once?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what it's kind of made.
And there's still hardcore people, even in our studio, that they're playing hardcore Monster Hunter.
Is that going to factor into the online game at all? Is there going to be like bones that you pick out of defeated enemies and you can make a necklace out of them, maybe? Or
it's hard to deny like the influence that Monster Hunter is going to have on a lot of games,
because it is if you are in if you're a developer in Japan, it is the success story of recent times. I mean, the PSP numbers are crazy, so it's got to it's got to have some sort of influence.
I've talked to a lot of people, not just within the studio, but outside the studio, that, hey, look, this is proof that people say this. They say, look at the success of Monster Hunter 2 on PSP, ad hoc only. Yeah. This is proof we don't need infrastructure. And I say, no, it is not proof.
Which is terrifying, but I think there is something to it. I mean, I think it definitely does deserve dissecting and looking at, hey, what is catching on in Japan with this game that's not with these other online games?
But see, I think the thing is, in Japan, you can do a game like that and actually, it'll work, because everybody, it's a small place. I mean, everybody is often together, like high school kids all travel together. They all have partners to play with. People are often outside their houses. They're not like, home, because it's just the nature of the culture here. That doesn't fly in America. Like, you are not going to go in any one place in America and find 4 people who happen to have PSPs and Monster Hunters on them, ever.
Yeah, you're right. This is like, this is a country the size of California. I mean, obviously you're going to have a lot more people in like a condensed area. You could hang out and play Monster Hunter. So it's, for Japan, ad hoc is very appropriate. But then again, we pushed really hard with Portable Ops to have infrastructure.
Right.
And, I wanted to see a lot more people playing MPO online with infrastructure in the States. I mean, it was very successful in Japan, but still, those numbers are still not there. And what is it about like the PSP and like this reluctancy to get online? Is it difficult? Is it like hard to find hotspots? Or
well, like speaking for myself, I'm not yet to the place where I'm always carrying my PSP around with me, and it is very much like I'm like. They're planning on spreading Wi-Fi throughout all of San Francisco. When that happens, I think I'd play games more like that. But a lot of times, when I do have access to Wi-Fi, I'm at home or at work, and either of those times, I'm probably going to play like a full console experience. So It's bad to say because at the same time, I really want a game like Monster Hunter for me to be able to play it, online.
Is it just the nature of the game? I mean, like an action deathmatch game, you'd much rather go home and play Halo 3 or
like
Gears.
A full right?
Rather, is it just the nature of the gameplay? Like, if you're on portable, you're not going to want to play an action game. You want to play something else that's online and connected. Maybe something like, I don't know, I've been playing it quite a bit, like Puzzle Quest. Maybe that's online.
Yeah, what else have you been playing quite a bit of lately? Online multiplayer.
Company of Heroes.
No. Keep going.
Let's see. I'm playing a little.
Starts with a shad.
Starts with an SH
and ends with an un.
Yeah, I've been playing some Shadowrun.
Yeah,
we played it together actually.
Yeah.
And I know you have some friends in the industry, and I'm this as a favor, as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
This is I want you to get down to the bottom of the story of what happened with that Shadowrun development. And
right.
Because it's fascinating. You got 4 years of development, and you get 9 maps and 2 modes, and that's been the story of the game. And it's got a lot of potential.
Some of that, and they've already been talking, like the artist, there was an interview on, was it Kotaku?
Yeah, on Kotaku, right.
Some of that has kind of been coming out, and it has been interesting. But yeah, you're right, there is some stuff to that.
Does it look good? I mean, like what I saw, I've only seen videos, I haven't played it. The videos did not look good to me. Maybe I saw the wrong videos, but I felt like I was looking at like a GoldenEye or something. Like it did not look like a next-gen FPS.
Yeah,
well, parts of it look, I think, good, and parts of it don't, and I think the overall art direction, like I would take question with the overall art direction.
Well, when you look at the game, this is why I'm so fascinated by it, and I was excited. I bought it in LA, and I came back, and that was the first thing I popped in. It's because, I mean, it just, when I look at the art direction, it's just like a telltale sign of a game that had some kind of trouble development. Like,
that's why you're excited about it?
Yeah. I wanted to see what happened with, like, I want to play it. I want to see what's missing. Like, look at the character design. See how it differs from the stage, and
right.
Just to see this is what happens when different forces are pulling this game in different directions.
Yeah,
and you can totally feel that when you're playing the game. Like,
right.
They had a great core concept, and then you have like a single player that feels like it's tacked on, and then I'm playing the game, and my air conditioner's leaking out water, like about a half gallon of water. I'm not even joking. And so like the repairman comes. And he knocks on the door, and I hit the start button on the Xbox controller
to
and
pause
it, and I can't pause the game. And I'm like, this is really interesting. Like,
in single player,
it's a game that's been in 4 years of development. This is definitely a game that was in it had a lot of trouble. But
what if you like pull up the guide? It'll still keep going in the background, or
yeah,
what?
If you hit the Xbox button, it still keeps going.
Wow.
And but my heart goes out to those guys. I'm sure people worked on it really hard for 4 years.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I as a probably the world's biggest Phantom Dust fan, like I still like the core concept of Shadowrun,
right?
Because I like that idea of like customizing your character to play online and fight with other people, have your own style using different magic and things like that.
So how do you what lessons do you take from what you know of Shadowrun back to Metal Gear Solid 4? Like, let's bring it back to.
I mean, definitely you have to have like some kind of theme. Mr. Kojima has been very good about this with every game, even if it seems kind of arbitrary definitely to Westerners. Like, he does explain it very good to his team that, like, here's the theme of this time is sense, or last time it was like place or meme or whatever it was,
right?
In past games, it's just like bringing about the sense of Snake, or like getting people to be able to smell the battlefield and things like that. And it's like that kind of core concept that you can kind of wrap the game around and lead people in the right direction.
And you feel like with Metal Gear Solid 4 in particular, like, and maybe with Portable Ops also, you can talk about that one maybe more freely, but you feel like there was like a very clear direction and like strong leadership where it was like, okay, these group of people think it should be this way, these people think it should be this way. You go back to this central theme, and it's like, okay, this is sort of our mission statement, right. So it should be.
Right, definitely. With 4, with like Mr. Kojima's direction, and like again going back to this idea of sense, and even with the script, I mean, bringing out like words that I normally wouldn't use, like describing smells and things like that. Mm-hmm. And then I've been going back to Portable Ops. The game really headed a lot of different directions. I mean, if you read the pamphlet that we put out at E3, that the show Maybe, that was a parody of the show Daily, there was an article about like the very beginnings of Portable Ops and how it was based on being kind of almost like a fighter at like Street Fighter in a way, like this whole idea of like just going one-on-one against somebody.
Right.
But it wasn't until the game became like the direct sequel to Snake Eater, then everybody on the team got it finally.
Right.
Okay, this is set in 1970. Like this is Big Boss, and we're taking it for the next step after Snake Eater, and that's when we can really go into the right direction. Whereas in going back to Shadowrun, they've got like this license, this very deep license, like this that I've never played, the pen and paper game.
Right.
But I mean, that's all they really had, but no direction of like what the gameplay was going to go into.
Well, they had the old video games, but those were like
true.
RPG,
Genesis and the Super Nintendo
action
ones,
RPG, right? So it was a very different. You're right. It was kind of a clean template to work with.
Yeah. So I feel very lucky to be like, in a studio or on a project where we have a really good sense of direction, and like we know where we're
sense.
going. A good sense.
Oh.
Yeah, you picked that up.
Yes, that was
You're
that
sharp.
was delicious pun.
So
I'm glad you're rewriting. I'm glad you're working on the voiceovers and all of that stuff. Work in some of those delicious puns.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay away from puns actually.
Yeah, well, they're dangerous.
They are.
Yeah.
I'll leave those to John to put into into games that are coming out of 8.4. So going back to a question to you, Mark.
Yeah.
You're director of GameVideos.com.
Mm-hmm.
Please check that on the web at www.gamevideos.com.
Sure. Or just GameVideos.com. That'll work too.
And here's my question to you.
Yep.
Think about the future of gaming press, and I really do think about this quite a bit as as a former member of the press. A lot of people say magazines are dying, and a lot of sites like Game Videos, Game Trailers, MTV's getting into like a very visual-based representation of what games are upcoming. It's the media, but it's not written. It's not word-based. It's
right.
It's a video representation, and I mean maybe you can talk about that a little bit. But how I lead it back to Metal Gear Solid is like how do you as we look forward to like the launch of Metal Gear Solid 4, how do you expect to approach covering that game for all your viewers of all the viewers that come to the site,
right?
Because you, like, God forbid, let's say you don't have preview footage of the game,
right?
I mean, do you do things like you did with the GTA 4 trailer, where you dissect different videos that come from official sources? Or?
Well, absolutely, and like you can't do it with every game, but I think the way that it's evolving is like you're right. I think there is and always will be a place for print media, and I think it's a great place. It's like something we talk about a lot is with sports media. There's Sports Illustrated and ESPN, the magazine, and you don't read in those magazines what last night's game happened. You read more thoughtful analysis, and that's definitely with the magazines that we do where I work, EGM and Game for Windows, the direction things are headed, and we like to think we're really pushing it forward that way, but absolutely at the same time things are absolutely like ramping up on the web and just like they are elsewhere on the web towards video and stuff like that. And I mean, I would almost turn around to you and be like, how important is a new trailer as opposed to like, okay, there's going to be another preview is going to go up of us. I mean, like tons of time and anticipation, and it goes into these trailers now.
Right.
And now we're at the point where it's almost like a movie release. You have a date, announced for when
like
the next
GTA
trailer is going to come out. And with certain games like Halo, Metal Gear, GTA, there's enough excitement, but there's also enough put into those trailers that it bears out real analysis. It bears out dissecting into
so you
these.
Get to your real job of being a journalist rather than just being like the go-between by getting that media out to as many people as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we we do the One Up show, of course, and I think that's a way that we'll definitely cover Metal Gear. And it is a challenge with a game that you're given limited access to, even though we understand why. But we had to deal with this with Halo. We drew maps up on a board and talked about them. But I think it worked, and there was enough interest in that to bear it out, and more importantly, there was enough to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like whenever we can talk about what you showed me today up in the studio when we played multiplayer MGS4, maybe when we cover that, if we don't have any media, I'm kidding, of course,
right.
we didn't show anything. We were playing your new Wii game the whole time, not that.
Oh,
so, but when we
Metal Gear Kids.
when we can finally talk about it, you just have to get creative and that sorts of things, and more people are doing that, and different people are sort of pushing the envelope in different ways. But it is tough with a game like Metal Gear or Halo or GTA all come to mind as games where they deliberately hold tons of information back until the game releases.
Right.
And so it's kind of a balance between, okay, well, what can you spoil? What are you going to be given anyway? And then what do you worry about spoiling for people, and what can you show people?
Right.
And I mean, I'm sure it's something that you have to worry about in your trailers and such. I mean, do you guys have these arguments about like, wait, no, we can't show this.
Right.
Like, it'll be obvious, people will know.
Right, and of course we have discussions about them. When is appropriate to release, like to announce certain characters and things like that. But I think, I've never professed to be a good PR guy, and even though I was kind of put on that not the pedestal, but in that position when I first joined the studio, I was kind of like this PR mouthpiece for the studio. But I don't really think in the PR as a PR agent. But I do look at videos as a great way to communicate to fans or people who are interested in the game, as opposed to going through the print, because there's a lot of embargoes, or there's a lot of rules about like you can't scan these articles, and it's hard to get that information out. Like, for example, you give a certain magazine a certain piece of information, like, okay, we've got these different new weapons in the game, or this area, and it's only going to hit that magazine's readers, and you're leaving out, like, as I found with this podcast, all the Metal Gear fans around the world, in Saudi Arabia, or in Europe, or even in Japan, where that information might not get to them. So definitely a trailer is a great way to get everybody on the same page about the game.
In a way, too, looking at it from your perspective, Ryan's perspective, you guys, when you're giving out a trailer, you have some level of control of what the people will see, whereas when you're giving your information to a magazine, they are writing an article, they're constructing their own idea of what they, how they interpret it from you, and then giving that off to the reader. So it's not quite as direct as you guys putting out a trailer and the people get to see exactly what you want to show them. I think that's very powerful.
It's smart, but on the other hand, I mean, here I go again, like going against like the PR mantra. But with a trailer, you can control the message, and that's what seems like what's been the theme of game companies and game publishers for the past 2 or 3 years, is that rather than doing showing your games at E3 in this open environment, you have your own event where you can control the message and make sure that the press is on the same page. And is that frustrating for you? Because like, I'm sure that, I mean, as you experienced with Dennis Dyack, when you're given that opportunity to play it without any Microsoft representative next to you,
right?
You can go up to the kiosk and you can play this preview build,
right? And
you can voice your own opinion about that preview build. It's a lot different now than if there was like a Microsoft event where you're...
Well, yes, I see what you're saying. Like, yes and no. I mean, a lot of times, though, you will see... you can be skeptical if you're not seeing a product, I mean, it's different for different games. And, you look at each product where it is or where it's supposed to be in its life cycle. And it's like, a lot of times it's like, okay, if we're not playing this game by this time... you can make educated guesses, or sometimes you hear, okay, you're not playing it because it's got problems, or because it's not actually coming out when they're still saying that it's going to come out.
Right.
So actually, sometimes you're given information accidentally that way. But yeah, it is frustrating, especially when you don't get a product early enough for review. I mean, I think that's one of the great things about the web is, even if you don't get to put your hands on something until a couple weeks before it comes out, you can make educated guesses, seeing footage, especially when it's gameplay footage. It's not just cutscenes and stuff like that. Your message can still reach a good percentage of people, given that last peak time right before the game comes out, when interest really peaks in the game.
Right.
So, but a lot of times you're not given that reviewable. That is kind of frustrating.
Well, I've been kind of negative about PR on this podcast, but on the good news is that I think the studio's learned its lesson about how to show Metal Gear, the next generation of Metal Gear, and with MGS4, I don't think we're going to be hiding as much as we have in the past. I remember when MGS3 came out, when Snake Eater was, right before it came out, I was kind of down on it as a member of the press, because all I was seeing was jungle scenes.
Right.
And I was, as a lot of people I think in the press, it's hard to really write another 10-page article, a cover story about another jungle scene that you witnessed. Where in fact, what the tragedy of it was that I think that for casual users that only saw these jungle scenes and they thought, there needs to be more to Metal Gear than this. I think the tragedy of it is that they didn't get to see the second half of the game, which was totally different environments, very beautiful.
The problem is, though, I mean, you go back to the whole tanker. I mean, I think the tanker at MGS2 is the even better example, because it was like,
definitely.
I mean, that's all you saw of that game.
That was Metal Gear Solid 2 for the longest time.
Everyone expected the entire thing takes place on this tanker, and same thing with Halo. It's like it's tough because you don't want to let them know everything.
Right.
You don't want to let them know, like, and Mr. Kojima had said in interviews, like, no, it's not just all in a jungle. But you're right, showing it leads people to believe, there's all these different aspects to it. But it's like, where do you draw the line? What do you spoil? What do you not spoil?
It's a tough balance, but I think with 4, I think we're going to go about it a better way. I think you're going to see more.
You say we're going to go about it, but you've been already showing trailers for a while now. So are you saying we should expect to see like more?
Oh, definitely. The game is not set from beginning to end in the Middle East,
Right.
And I think whereas before, if this was Metal Gear Solid 3, I think you would probably, and up until the release date, you would only see Middle East scenes.
Right.
And
so we're going to start to see some different stuff.
Definitely, you're going to see some different environments.
Right. Oh, that's cool.
And it's going to be cool. And
you think it's not going to ruin it at the same time?
No,
it doesn't spoil it to see these other.
Well, that's another balance. Like, it's about promotion or about saving for gamers when they finally get their hands on it and have like this totally new experience that they didn't see through screenshots or trailers.
And you don't have to explain it. I mean, if you just show it, that's enough of a teaser on its own to get you interested.
Look,
maybe you don't know what that scene is or whatever, but you're excited because you know it's in there.
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, we can put Metal Gear Solid, say it's coming out in this day, have no screenshots, have no trailers,
right.
and if everybody bought it, it'd be perfect.
And there would be no previews until the game is
because everybody's blown away at every single scene, But that's it's not a perfect world, and
that's the perfect Dennis Dyack.
That's what I was trying to get to.
That's
that's what I sort of failed there.
It does sound exactly like what he's talking about.
But what he says is completely unrealistic, and it'll never happen.
Right.
And the game industry is healthy because of the preview process. I mean, a lot of games get better because of this of the showing off preview builds or having beta versions like Halo 3, for example, or getting user feedback like when we first showed Portable Ops 2 to some press at E3, for example. Based on that feedback, I mean, the game really did get improved, whereas it wouldn't have if we followed the Dennis Dyack
That's good to hear.
formula.
That is something that I think is happening more often, and it's good to hear, especially from the Japanese companies that seem a little more insulated. Like, you've been hearing that from Capcom with Lost Planet. Like, they really are
totally,
directly incorporating user feedback into the final product.
Yeah, I think it's a healthy process, and hopefully, more Japanese companies can open up to that.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
So moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next topic, you kind of actually hinted on at this where I wasn't expecting the Hideo Kojima Wii title. Not looking to announce it on this podcast, but my question to you guys is: do you think it's interesting? I mean, am I the only one who thinks that all the hype or all the rumor mongering about this game has completely died recently? And my theory is because even after E3 last year, there was a lot of talk. When is the Hideo Kojima Wii game coming out? But recently, it seems like maybe people have realized that Wii isn't the platform for like a Metal Gear title, or there's a lot of casual games coming out and they're not expecting an epic game.
I think a lot of people are expecting kind of a Boktai, which, not to take anything away from Boktai. I mean, I haven't played it, but a lot of people I really respect have said great things about that game, and I've talked to people at length about that game, and it had a lot of really interesting things about it. But yeah, I think that to a degree, people have been seeing a lot of high-profile people still not doing you call it the epic game, the game that caters to the core market, the Zelda type game, the Metal Gear, that type of game. So, I mean, it's not impossible. Although, I mean, look what Tecmo's doing with Ninja Gaiden on the DS. I think that is and I think that's really going to find its niche because it is kind of rare that people are doing that with DS titles, and I hope to see more people doing that with their Wii titles. But yeah, I mean, at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was some weird idea that he had a dream about once or something, and he wanted his kids to be able to play a game that he wanted his kids to be able to play or something like that, or his parent, his father-in-law or something like that,
No, I mean, when you look at the sales figures for Wii, it's unbelievable. You see it every month.
There's no ignoring it. Yeah,
it's just a phenomenal success. I'm looking at last week's Japanese sales figures for the Wii, and they sold 65,000 in a week, and like every one of those units that hit stores gets sold out immediately.
Yeah, what are you thinking when you see that, and then you see the PS3 numbers down there? Are you thinking like, is it too late to move MGS4 to Wii?
More like the DS, like
Jesus,
Dragon Quest 9.
Oh my God!
But I mean, you look at PS3 numbers, and I mean it's definitely not setting any sales records, positive sales records in Japan. But you look at the 360 too, and it's like, yeah, next gen really hasn't picked up yet. Yeah. Even in the States, you can almost argue in a way.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I would definitely argue that like, kind of why isn't the 360 doing better than it is? I mean, it's definitely,
it should be doing better.
Outpacing the PS3, and we'll see this fall is really the big test with everything, right? It's like when Halo and some of these other games come out, if it doesn't really pick up, then you really have to wonder what is going on. Is it just maybe the price point, or what have you? But
right, well, lack of interesting titles.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, there are not a lack of interesting titles, at least to the core gamer. But maybe that's it. It's like you don't have enough of the Guitar Heroes, enough of the games that are expanding the market. You know what I mean? The Viva Pinata didn't really work, and so. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see those are the titles that Wii has. So is Wii taking all of those gamers away from everybody else?
Right.
I don't know.
So I'm kind of sorry to bring this up out of the blue, but you emailed me about this idea that you and Ryan O'Donnell had after he came back from being on the podcast, and
yeah, it was Ryan. Ryan had a great idea,
like this rekindled love for Metal Gear Solid 2.
Let's not exaggerate terribly. Like, I just listened to your guys' podcast. I think it was kind of a love fest, and I think Milky was afraid or something because he's surrounded by the three of you. I'm sad that I wasn't there to hold my own about Metal Gear Solid 2, because what I would say about and don't get me wrong, Metal Gear Solid 2 is a fantastic landmark title. I gave it a 9.5 in EGM, and that's serious for me.
That's major.
I mean, that's and absolutely, like I say, AAA landmark title. But to me, the difference here between me and Shane is, you call Shane like a Metal Gear fan. It's like, who loves you more? Like the person that, whatever you do, they forgive, they love you, like it doesn't matter, or the person that like calls you on your shit, and it's like, you know what, you kind of fucked up there. Like you did great, but like here, and here, like things could have been better. I mean, I thought it was interesting that Shane pointed out gameplay. Well, he didn't point out any out, but he talked about that he had gameplay problems with it. I think that might have been sort of a symptom of when he played it, which was much later than when it came out.
Right.
That's true.
But it is true, and Ryan brought it up, like the stuff you do to shoot in first person and stuff like that by modern standards for sure. And even then, it was like a little like, oh, I gotta lean and do all that stuff. But I'm sorry, like I still like I will go back and play Metal Gear Solid 2, and I definitely want to talk more about the stuff that was.
Wasn't your idea to have like a retrospective of Metal Gear Solid 2 for game videos possibly? And
yeah, that was exactly it. And we want to have you go over exactly all the stuff that you guys were talking about the stuff that was like, okay, well this like maybe wasn't explained totally, but here's where it was going.
I'd love
like,
to do that.
This was a little messed up, and like as much as you can talk about, well, here originally, like this is where the big shell crashed into the Statue of Liberty or whatever,
Well, that stuff might be hard to get, but there are. I mean, you up until that point.
Well, and of course, we want video of those cutscenes. Of course,
well, there's some of that footage is in the documented Metal Gear Solid. Right. They have some footage of the Twin Towers and stuff like that. So,
but you do have, up until that point, you do have 15 hours worth of gameplay and demo scenes where we can talk about and dissect, and it would be so much fun to do that.
Oh, absolutely, we should
get people prepped because as Ryan O'Donnell realized on our podcast that Metal Gear Solid 4 really is the sequel.
Yeah.
And that's so exciting as a Metal Gear fan. I mean, seriously.
He came back really super excited and with that idea, and I was like, that's a great idea. We have to do that. Yeah.
So more dissecting of videos for you, right?
Yeah, definitely. And like, so one that we came up recently and we almost dissected it, but we didn't, was the differences in the MGS4 video that kind of very quietly got out there.
You mean on the 20th anniversary side?
Yeah.
I didn't notice the difference.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw something missing.
That's funny. Because I watched it and everybody was talking about it, and there were a lot of really good There was a lot of really good analysis of what exactly was different, and I watched it side by side, and really there was a lot of different stuff. Mostly like, particle effects, which is just a fancy term for like sparks, and when the Metal Gear's busted through, is much more like different. It just looked way better. It was lots of rubble, lots of little bits instead of big bits. There was no slowdown in different parts and stuff that I didn't even remember because I remember it just looking so good. But like it looked way better. Right. So like it's clear that the engine is still evolving.
Oh, totally. And hats off to the fans for like picking up on all those things and like all the differences, the subtle differences. And we're really impressed by that. Just like seeing the total reaction. Yeah,
they weren't so subtle. I mean, it was like when you put it side by side, it was like big. It looked like Lego blocks. It made the old one look like.
Well, yeah, definitely. If you put it side by side, but you saw it back at E3 last year, and,
right?
You if you watch it again, you're like, yeah, that looks about right.
But the fans are going to notice, like, if the watermelons are like the lines are different, like the watermelons come from a different part of the world.
Exactly.
Then it's like, wait, what does this mean?
The number of pits.
What does this mean? Did they go to Australia? Like, these are Australian watermelons.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
Snake in Australia.
There's 10 seeds busted out of each slice instead of 8. Wait, 10. What
do those two seeds
mean?
In
the word 10. How many clones of Big Boss were there?
And that's like the fun part. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, we were surprised by that reaction, but this is a trailer that we prepped a long time ago, actually last year, for GC, the games convention in Leipzig.
Right, which was what, last August?
Last August, right. And we cleaned up the E3 version because, as you said, the frame rate dropped at some parts because it was still on an early version of the PS3 hardware. And we did change the filter. You can see like the color shading and like the color is a little bit different, and it looks closer to the real game. And
so how close to what you're seeing now day to day is that? Because it's a year old, you're saying, almost.
Well, when you look at the game that we're working on currently, these scenes that we don't expect people to see for many months from now.
Right.
I mean, the filters are not in place, so it's hard to say. But it's definitely close to the final version.
See, this is why, like, it would be great if you could be talking about every week, like, hey, there's new dust in the game. Like, I'm serious, It's like that stuff does add up when you watch those two side by side. That is the little incremental improvements that people are doing, I'm sure, all the time. And but that stuff adds up.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And so that this trailer that everybody saw on the 20th anniversary site, that was shown at Leipzig on the big screen. I wasn't there in Germany, but
and like nobody noticed because there was the new trailer.
Right. There was a new trailer that was shown behind closed doors.
Right.
And then the one that was shown on the big screen was the one that we're showing on the 20th anniversary site. So, and I don't think anybody captured it like with a Handycam or whatever. So that's what you're seeing. So it was kind of old news to us.
Yeah.
And then it hits all the major gaming sites like, hey, new trailer, and like we made that about like 9 months ago. So that's the story.
Right.
That's the story straight from.
Next time, give brother a heads up. Little thing there. Hey, you might notice some sparks.
Well, it's funny. This is what happens when you're out of town and you're in LA recording, because I didn't know which version they're going to put on the 20th anniversary site. Yeah. So it was new news to me too. I wake up in the.
You're fighting off the crack whores and bed bugs.
Yeah. That's what I brought back from LA. And thankfully, it's pretty much healed up by now. But yeah, that's the fun part about being out of town. You wake up and you check Kotaku or you check 1UP or you check IGN and you see,
well, yeah, I think you mean you check 1UP and you check GameVideos.com and then if you have time you check Kotaku
my cheats.
and
I think I go my cheats.
Right.
Well, that about wraps up for all the stuff I've got.
Yeah, I don't know. They might come and kick us out here. I saw them waving their nightsticks around a little bit ago.
We could be expecting another beating.
Yeah, we should probably get out of here. But yeah, I'd like to come back and grill you. Yeah, and see how much of it we can get that you have to bleep out.
Yeah, not too much. It's tough going through Pro Tools,
Oh, no,
on the Wednesday night before you got to upload it.
Just bleep it out. I want to hear it bleeped out.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see what percentage I can get. I'd be happy with like 5% of the entire thing.
I think most people would be pretty happy with that. I mean, the sparks in the new trailer.
Right.
Headlines in the gaming industry.
Exactly. A couple well-placed beeps. I mean, you could bleep out what I'm talking about right now and make it sound like something, like we said something important. So,
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on the show, and it was a lot of fun. I was looking forward to this.
Yeah,
for a long
yeah,
time.
no, it's great. Thanks for having us.
Definitely.
Anytime.
And thanks go out to the Midtown security guards for not intruding.
As always, yeah.
And keep in watch, because you never know what's going to happen in Tokyo.
No, that's right. That's right. And podcasts could be busting out everywhere. You know, they have to keep a lid on it.
All right, well, thanks again, guys.
All right, cheers.